Ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome back to Qasid Online. This is Ayub Palmer, and I'm an Arabic instructor for Qasid Arabic Institute. This is the 14th video in our Arabic letters series, and we'll be learning about the Daad and the Hamza by itself. You can take out your writing worksheet and follow along with this video if you wish. For those who don't have the worksheets that accompany this video series, please fill out the form at the end of the video, and Qasid will have them sent to you. Let's get started. So we have 4 objectives in this lesson. The first objective is to pronounce the Daad and the Hamza correctly. The second is to recognize these 2 letters when we see them. The third is to write them in their different forms. The Daad, and I'm going to put a little dot here, as you'll learn later how to pronounce this word. So we're going to write the Daad in its 4 different forms. And fourth, we're going to pronounce and write both the Daad and the Hamza in a word. And the word that we have for this lesson is Rida. Rida means contentment. So here we have the Daad. And I'm going to write a dot underneath the D here to indicate that this letter is not a D sound. In fact, there is no letter in English that corresponds directly to the Daad. However, we can describe that sound for you. So, for example, the Daad is pronounced when you place your tongue flat against the roof of your mouth and then push away from the roof of the mouth with the tongue while vibrating the vocal cords. So it sounds like this. Da, da, da. It's a little bit difficult for non-Arab speakers to make, but after some practice, you'll be able to pronounce the Daad with ease. Let's look at the Hamza now. We've seen the Hamza several times. We've seen the Hamza in the Alif Hamza, and the Hamza on the Waw, and the Hamza on the Ya. This time we have the Hamza by itself. And so we're going to say the Hamza by itself. In other words, this Hamza has no seat. In fact, it sits on the line. So we say it sits on the line. In other words, the line of the page. Let's look at where we're at in the alphabet now. So we're all the way over here at Daad. Again, we move from right to left. And we have the Hamza by itself. And there we have it. So let's look at the Daad and the Hamza by itself in their different positions. So again, as we remember, there are 4 positions for Arabic letters. And the independent or initial position, the Daad, looks like the Sad, but it has a dot on the top of it. So it looks just like the Sad, which you learned in the last lesson, but with a dot. So here, let's put number 2 as initial position. It's teardrop, but we have a dot there. And the medial position looks the same, like that, but with a dot. And the final position here connects and looks like that, but with a dot. So this is how we write the Daad. And the Daad, as you can see, comes in all 4 positions. Now the Hamza by itself is in the final position. And so here we can write the Hamza. The Hamza comes in the final position. However, we're going to write it as, we're going to call it the independent position instead of the final position, because that's a little bit more correct. So in number 1, we write the Hamza like this. Basically, it sits on the line, and you'll see that when we write the Hamza in the following pages, and when we write the Hamza in our word rida. Let's look at our page here with our lined page. I'm going to change the color to yellow. And let's write the Daad here together. So in the independent position, the Daad looks like this. Comes below the line, but with a dot. Let's do it again. Daad. Write it with a dot. And tear shape. Come below the line with a dot. Now, in the initial position, it looks like this. Tear shape with a dot. Again, tear shape with a dot. And again, tear shape with a dot. Didn't write them all the same size, but that's okay. In the medial position, again, we connect, come a little bit farther, tear shape, and then notch, and then with a dot, but don't forget our dot. Again, connect. Go a little bit farther when we write it. We have to give a little bit of room for that tear shape. And then again, one more time, and then like that. Okay, in the 4th position, in the final position, it looks like the initial position. We connect, and then we write it like that. Again, connect, then write it, come below the line, connect, and then we come below the line. There we go. Okay, now let's look at the Hamza by itself. Say the Hamza by itself. Okay, so the Hamza by itself just sits on the line like that. It's pretty easy. Just sits on the line. Looks like an S shape. And it just sits on the line like that. And we'll see how we write that in a word. Okay? Okay, let's write these letters in an actual word. So I'm going to change my color here to red. Okay, let's review here. We have the Daad in the independent position. It looks like this. In the initial position, looks like this. In the medial position, it looks like this. And in the final position, looks like this. And the Hamza, it's in the initial position, it looks like that. Okay, so we're going to write the Arabic word for contentment, rida. Rida. Okay, so we hear there a ra at the beginning. You hear the ra in the rida. So we're going to write ra. That's our first letter. And we hear the kasra, ri, ri. So we're going to write a kasra next. Ri, rida. You hear the da sound. That da sound is the Daad. And we're going to write that. The Daad. Sorry. And then we have an alif, rida. See the a sound? That's an alif, long vowel alif. Rida. You hear the sound? That's the Hamza. And it's the Hamza on the line. So we're going to write this in a word, and we're going to connect. So again, the kasra is going to go on top of the ra. Now the Daad connects from the right, but the ra does not connect from the right. So these are not going to connect because the ra doesn't connect from the left. Okay, so we're going to put the ra here. Now the Daad does connect from the left, and the alif also connects from the left. So we can write the Daad now in the initial position, and then the alif. So we have here rida, and then the hamza. The hamza here is in the independent position. It doesn't connect to the right or to the left. So we're gonna write it like this. So this is our word here, rida. Circle it so we can see it a bit better. And there we have the word, Arabic word for contentment. Let's write it a few times. And let's change our color to yellow. So we're going to write the word for contentment. So let's write rida. And we'll write our short vowels when we're finished. Rida, contentment. Something all of us need more of. Rida. And one more time. Rida. And there we have the Arabic word for contentment. Okay. Now I'm just going to change here before we summarize here. We're going to summarize what we learned in this lesson. So the letter Daad in Arabic doesn't have an equivalent in English, but it's like pronouncing a D from the roof of the mouth. Da, da, like that. I guess that's the closest we can come to in terms of a relationship between this letter and an English letter. The Hamza by itself, and we talked about the Hamza by itself, sounds like the other Hamzas we learned. For example, the Alif Hamza and the Hamza on the Waw and the Hamza on the Ya. But it doesn't have a seat, has no seat. And it does what? It sits on the line. So if this is the line, then the Hamza will just sit on the line. The letter Daad connects to letters both before and after it. So in the medial position, the Daad would look like this. You see, it connects here, and it connects there. Now the Hamza by itself is written directly on the line and doesn't connect to letters before it or after it. So here we write the Hamza. If this is the line here and the Hamza is on the line, it doesn't connect. It doesn't connect to the before it and doesn't connect after it. And there you have it. So please download the writing worksheet if you haven't done so already, and practice writing the Daad and the Hamza by itself. And also don't forget to download your reading worksheet, in which you can practice the Daad and the Hamza by itself and all of the other letters that you've learned up to this point. And if you'd like to get a hold of our entire set of worksheets, and you haven't done so already, that go along with these video tutorials, please see the instructions at the end of this video or in the text below. Thanks so much. Ma'as salama.